Today, the president signed an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. The president said some of the agency's programs will continue. President Trump's executive order alone won't be enough to do away with the DOE, as a full dismantling would require approval from Congress.
Going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs.
As he does with so many of President Trump's executive orders, Attorney General Rob Bonta is pushing back.
New at 10, your reporter Hunter Sowers goes one-on-one with California's top attorney.
AG Bonta says the move is all talk at this point with no plan. He says President Trump hasn't explained how money is getting reallocated, as many fear the most vulnerable who benefit from federal funding are now the most at risk.
With the swipe of a pen, the Department of Education one step closer to being wiped out.
This is a very dangerous move taken by the Trump administration.
Attorney General Rob Bonta sitting down with us hours after President Trump signed that executive order.
What are you most worried about as we see this step taken today?
Really worried about our special education system and students with learning disabilities. I'm worried about our poorest children who are battling and wrestling with poverty as they try to learn and grow.
Despite protest, President Trump has teased Thursday's move for weeks, vowing to uphold a key campaign promise to return funding flow and operations from the Department of Education to state and local districts, already cutting over half of the agency's staff.
And we're going to take care of our teachers.
Bonta argues that promise lacks the clarity needed to carry it out.
I mean, the absence of a plan speaks volumes. It suggests that there's no plan, that it's just talk, and that talk is cheap, and it's just a talking point to sell this terrible, dangerous, damaging action to the American people.
California gets $2.4 billion in federal money for low-income students and $1.5 billion for students with disabilities. The White House promising those programs are protected.
Lay it out, illustrate it. They haven't done it, and they don't seem to care to. Why? Because they're probably not going to do it.
Now, it's important to note, because it took an act of Congress to establish the Department of Ed, it would take an act of Congress to dismantle it. There are already Republican-backed plans that could be introduced soon. I asked Bonta, though, if he was planning to file any lawsuits over the recent move. He said he is waiting and watching for how this administration plans to carry out their promise before making that decision.
Hunter, thank you. State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond also weighing in tonight, saying in a statement, while the federal administration is clearly willing to disrupt pathways to the American dream, California remains focused on the promise of educational opportunities for all students.